Hi, I'm Sue and I'm your garden guru from Garden Shop, and today we are talking about flowering perennials. Now, flowering perennials can really save you a lot of money in your garden because it's not plants that you've got to plant year after year after year. And we did speak on our PowerPoint presentation a little bit about all the conditions for flowering perennials, and I'm just going to go through a few of my favorite ones for you. So, as you can see, we've got a huge selection here of flowering perennials, and this is only like not even the tip of the iceberg. So let's start at the back here. Here we've got Plectranthus mona lavender. Now, Plectranthus mona lavender can grow in a bush about 70 to 70 centimeters. It's indigenous, and as you see, it's got these beautiful flowers that are born on the plant virtually all year round. A fantastic plant, water-wise, and it does very well in the shade. So it's good to fill up those little corners in the shade. Then another one of my favorite ones is our dear little Sweet Williams. It makes a lovely cut flower. It's related to the Dianthus family, and this one grows in full sun. It bears spikes of flowers throughout summer, and when they are finished flowering, you can actually cut it right off at the bottom here, and then the plant would make new flower spikes. So again, a fantastic plant, and it smells great too. Another one, which is an indigenous one, also for full sun, low growing, and it's got these spiked pom-pom flowers, and this is our Scabiosa. Now, Scabiosa, as I say, full sun, well-drained soil, and again, once the plant is flowered, you cut it right back, and the plant would then shoot new flower spikes again. And the same goes for our little Statice here, which is also indigenous. Got lovely big foliage, also full sun, and it makes these papery flowers. And again, cut back after it's flowered, and you'll get new flower spikes all year round. Now, a plant that's got a very bold flower, and this can grow as a semi-cascading plant or a semi-trailing plant, is our Diplodenias. Beautiful, beautiful big flowers. They come in colors from white to this dark red, and they can make quite a nice low-growing filler, and they will grow in sun or up to semi-shade. Our little baby Erigeron comes from Mexico. Little white flowers, and they sometimes get like a little bit of a pinkishness in them. Again, cut them back after they've finished flowering, and they will just grow out again, and often they seed as well, and you will get them coming up all over your garden. Now, a good one for sun, if you need a little bit of height, that is our bush daisies. They come in various colors, from pink, white, red, peach, multicolors, big blooms, double blooms, etc., etc., and they will grow about 70 centimeters tall and 70 centimeters wide. So fantastic to create height in your garden, and they will flower throughout summer. Now, a little ground cover here is Evolvulus, and this is also an indigenous baby. It can grow in sun to semi-shade, little purple blue flowers that it bears, and it will sort of creep a little bit like a ground cover, and that will make a great show on the border of your garden. Now, over here we've got Begonia elata, and the reason why I've got the Begonia elata here is because along with it, I've also got our cyclamen. Now, the interesting thing about these two plants is that they both bulbs and they both grow in the shade. But the difference being that your cyclamen over here will be growing in this winter when it's cool, and come summer the bulb would go down, and then your Begonia elata here bulb comes up when spring starts, and it will flower throughout summer. So it's lovely to do companion planting with these two. The bulbs can just stay in the soil, and you can have color all year round. You can see that the cyclamen is already going off because it's already going into summer. Now down at the bottom here, I've got one of the all-time favorites, and this is lavender. Now the specific variety is the lavender dentata, or the French lavender. You can see it's got long stems with lovely big flowers, and it is very scented. And then the leaves of the dentata has got a bit of a toothiness to it. Now you get the dentatas in grey and green, and they flower all year round. You do get varieties of lavender, like the Stucas varieties, your Spanish lavenders. They only flower certain times of the year. So I love this compact little French lavender, and you can also pick the flowers and put them in the vase. Now these are something that you might have seen in your grandmother's garden, and this is your Shasta daisies. Now you also get them in doubles, and they make this beautiful white daisy-like flower. They will spread because they've got a rhizome, so eventually you would be able to divide them and fill up other parts of your garden. Full sun this baby is. Over here we've got Strobilanthes, and this is a plant not known by many people. It makes little pink tubular flowers, and it also has quite a dark foliage which shows up very nicely because this plant actually grows in the shade. It also will make rhizomes, and you can eventually divide them, and they just grow very well, very hardy plants. This one is another one from Mexico, and that's Coreopsis. Now the most common color is this yellow. You do get the shorter varieties like this one here, but they can grow up to about 1 meter tall depending on which variety. They also come in brandy colored, like burgundy colored flowers, white flowers, and stripy pink flowers. So a lovely addition to your garden. This plant will go off in winter, after which you cut it back and it will grow back again. Now everything from the sage family is always welcome in a garden. This one is a blue sage. You get ones with small pink flowers that grows into bushes depending on the variety. Again, it would dictate how tall or how big the plant would grow. Sages flower throughout summer, and again after flowering cut them back and they will just continue flowering. Now over here is another one for shade, and this is Euchera. Now you can see the Euchera has got lovely colored leaves. You also get them like in bronze leaves and sort of autumny orangey colored leaves, and they make a very delicate little blue flower on a stem, and this is a great addition to shade, especially for borders. Now something that I'm sure everybody knows is our indigenous gazania. Again, available in all sorts of colors. This one is bright yellow, and do remember after your gazanias is flowered to actually deadhead the old flowers to stimulate new growth on the plant. Another indigenous plant, quite fashionable for borders or mass planting, is your Felicia daisies. Lovely blue. You also get them in a white color and a variegated leaf, and they are extremely hardy, grow in full sun, and again just top them after they flowered and they will flower again. Then over here at the back we've got some osteospermum, and looks very much like your gazanias, daisy like flower. Get them in all sorts of colors, from white, purple, peachy. You even get flowers that's got like a spoon leaf sort of look to them. Very beautiful. They cascade quite a bit. They will fill big spaces and makes a great addition to your garden. Over here we've got some agapanthus. Again, very many varieties available, and I'm sure you've all seen them. Some of them are small and compact, others tall and not so compact. They can easily be divided to fill up other areas in your garden, and they will actually grow in the sun up to the semi-shade as well. Then this is our little pentas. Now this is a dwarf penta. You also get ones that's on a tall stem. Great addition to a cottage garden, and they grow in full sun. Now another favorite of mine is Euphorbia Diamond Frost, and you can see these are lovely sort of fine flowers. They flower virtually all year round, and they can grow in the sun or the shade. It's indigenous, and it's actually part of the succulent family of euphorbias, so it is very hardy and very water wise. Behind me here is our little angel plant, Angelonias. Again, an indigenous plant. You get different heights of them. This is again a dwarf one. You can get them growing up to about 1/2 meter. Lovely, beautiful, delicate flowers in all sorts of colors, whites, pinks, and dark pinks. Now behind me here, we've got some geraniums, and this one is an upright geranium, Geranium zunala. And you can see it's got bold flowers. They come in all sorts of colors, and they just grow anywhere in your garden, providing it gets enough sun and enough drainage. Now I've got the trailing geranium here as well, and this one will cascade more. So it's a flatter growing variety, and these are great for ground covers, or to plant in hanging baskets, or to hang over pots. Now behind me here is quite an interesting plant. This is the parrot's beak plant, or lotus, an indigenous plant, and you can see it's got beautiful flowers. They also come in an orange variety, flat growing, very hardy, drought resistant, and they also look great in hanging baskets and in pots. Another indigenous baby is our Ruselius, or our horsetails, and you can see dainty little reddish pink flowers on the tips, and then the foliage makes it quite interesting too. Very hardy, and they grow in full sun. Something that's very nice for borders is your Kufias with little fine flowers. They come in various different foliage colors, some golden foliage, some green. The flowers range from pink, white, and purple. So something that's really great for growing on the borders of your gardens. And then again, something for the shade, and this will give you a bit of height in your shade, is the hydrangea, which I think we're all familiar with. Now hydrangeas are acid-loving plants, so make sure that you put some acid compost in the soil when you plant them, and that you regularly feed them with some acid food. Now right behind me here, and this is the last of the ones that we're going to show you today, is our fuchsias. Again, they will grow in the shade to semi-shade. They come in various different colors, usually double or triple blooms. You get different varieties growing at different heights, and they should give you flowers all summer through. So these are just a few of the flowering perennials that I really like in my garden. And if you plant them at different times, or if you plant them so that they flower at different times, you can make sure that you've got color all year round in your garden. And just to make sure that you get those flowers that you need, you can always make sure that you feed them properly, especially if you've dead-headed them or cut them back. So here I've got Vitafruit and Flower, which is a fertilizer that promotes fruit and flower growth. And this is the same combination, only this is a chemical fertilizer. This is your 815, again for fruit and flowers. Then you can also use some multi-feed, which you can either dilute in water and pour over your pots, or you can apply it through a mixer spray. Or we've got our color boost as well, which will also promote your flower growth in your garden. So you can see, you can actually save quite a lot of money by planting these very colorful flowers, and you don't have to plant them year after year, and you can have a great garden all year round. Thank you very much. I'm Sue, I'm your garden guru from Garden Shop, and you can find us on our website gardenshop.co.za with all our tips on gardening.